Hello everyone, today I'm going to do a review of the Lenovo Flex 3 Chromebook. The version I have is the one with the N4020 CPU and 11.6-inch screen. Now Lenovo has a couple different variations of the same Chromebook. They have the one which is called Lenovo Flex 3i Chromebook, which is 11-inch, has the same specs, but this one, for example, is 11.6 inches. And they also have the same 11.6-inch, but they have it with the MediaTek CPU. So let me show you the box first before I continue. So here are the specs. And you guys can see this is the one with the N4020 CPU and 11.6-inch screen. Now let's go over the outside of the unit first, and then we'll talk about more about the screen and everything else. Now the whole build is made of plastic. We have the plastic on the back, we have the plastic on the front. It is a bit thicker unit. It does have some weight to it, especially for such a small Chromebook. It carries a lot of weight. On the right side, we have the Kensington lock slot. We have USB-C, which charges it. We have USB Type-A 3.2. We have the volume rockers and the power button. Because this unit, you can use it as a tablet. Now, the screen itself doesn't come off, but you can flip it around and have just the option to use the screen. And on the left side, we have the headphone jack. We have SD card slot, we have another USB Type-A 3.2, and we have another USB-C, which also charges the unit, or you can use it as a display port. And on the back of the unit, we do have a couple rubber stoppers, and we also have dual speakers. Here are the grills. Now the speakers are located on the bottom, and here's more specs if you guys want to see that. Now let's talk about the price first. This thing retails $219. I was able to get it for $179 at Walmart. Now, as I mentioned, the Lenovo has a few different variations of this. The one that Lenovo is concentrating selling is the Lenovo Flex 3i 11-inch. It does have the same specs, and the retail price is really crazy. It's $440. I checked the website today. It was actually $140, which is an amazing deal for this kind of Chromebook. Now on the front unit, we also have the camera. I believe it's a 0.9 megapixel camera, 720p. Now let's talk about the screen. This is going to be 11.6-inch screen. It does have huge bezels, especially on the bottom. When I did unboxing, I was actually kind of shocked how big the bezels were. But as you keep using the Chromebook, your eyes get used to it and you don't pay attention to the bezels anymore. Now, this is 720p resolution. We have the IPS display. Now, display itself, it is bright when you turn it all the way up. But if you want to use it, for example, at 50%, it gets very, very dim. So realistically, you're probably going to use it at 60, 70% the whole day, even in the dark. Now that we talked about the screen, let's talk about the keyboard. The keyboard itself was actually a pleasure to ride. It wasn't too soft, and the buttons weren't as clicky, which is a good thing. So, you know, the typing was silent, and my fingers traveled really nice around it. The spacing was actually really good too. And just the size of the keyboard itself was very nice. I didn't have any problems mistyping or hitting different keys. If you're used to typing on the regular size keyboards, this would be perfect. So that's a good thing about it. The trackpad itself was a bit too slick for me. I did change the settings, and sometimes it just feels like it's a bit too plasticky. It's hard to describe, but the trackpad I wasn't in love with. It does work as it's supposed to. I haven't had any issues. The double taps, the single taps, everything works. I just wish the material wasn't as slick. I just wish it had a little bit texture on it, where it just feels a little bit better, especially if you have to do precise clicking and stuff like that. It just feels a little bit too slippery. And that's after I adjusted the settings and sensitivity of it. All right, let's talk about the sound next. And let me play something. At the same time, I'm gonna measure the decibels so you guys can hear how loud it is. Now the bottom speakers, if you have the Chromebook in your lap, it can distort some sound. So that's another thing I do like when the speakers are positioned on the upper side of the Chromebook. It just sounds a bit better, but overall the speakers aren't bad. Considering this is, you know, a $200 Chromebook, it's not bad. It's not the best speakers I heard, but it's definitely not the worst. Now inside the unit we have N4020 CPU, 4 gigabytes of RAM, 32 gigabytes of storage, which seems to be standard for the Chromebooks. They're around $200, $250 price. The unit itself is very snappy. I use them mostly as I'm set for watching videos and stuff like that, but I also did a lot of browsing. So for example, let's say I open up one of my favorite websites, Slick Deals, and I would use touchscreen to browse and open up pages. It was very, very snappy, no issues there. Now if I want to open up some graphic intensive web page, it does take a little bit longer, but it usually opens up pretty fast. Now that also depends on your internet connection, but and everything already is open up and loaded. Now the details on the screen are very nice. As I mentioned, this is IPS display, so it does have much more better display than TN panel, like for example Samsung Chromebook 4, which I reviewed. It just doesn't have all these vibrant colors, and it's just the detail itself is very nice. And this is zoomed all the way in, so you can see it looks really nice. So day-to-day use on this Chromebook was honestly a pleasure. No problems whatsoever. Now this unit will also receive updates till June, I believe 2027. Let me just double check that for you guys. It is. So you will receive the updates till June 2027. So that's another 5 years. But even after updates end, you will still be able to use the unit. Of course, you just want to get that security updates and other stuff. Now the next thing I want to talk about is the gaming on this unit. I did play quite a few games. One game I want to show you is the Gardenscapes. Now I did save this for the end. Since this is the touchscreen, you can actually move the screen to the 10th position. So let's say you have a little kid and he's eating his food. You can just put this on the table and he can watch his cartoons and stuff like that while he's eating. Or you can use it for yourself. Let's say you have it on the table, you can play some Netflix and YouTube and watch the videos like that. I feel like the picture itself looks much better because these bezels on top aren't as distracting. And another thing you can use it as, you can just fold that and then use it as a tablet. Now depending on the game, sometimes it will show up in this mode. Let me just show you guys. For example, if I do a web browser, I will be able to use it in this mode. And you can scroll the web pages like this. If you just want to hold it in your lap like this. Or you can just go back and then just use it as a tent mode in this. Or you can just hold it in your lap. Now let me play you a couple games. Now one thing I did notice when it was a black screen, does have a decent amount of backlight. Now this is, sometimes it's like 1 in 10 units which will receive those backlights. Doesn't mean every unit will get those. Sometimes I get them on my monitor, some laptops, sometimes I don't. It just depends how the screen was attached. Now for me, it is showing up a lot on the black screen, so something that's a bit annoying. Alright, let's play one game. Now, I find the touchscreen Chromebooks perfect for these kind of games where you have to match stuff, like for example, like Candy Crush and this game. And there we go. So let's talk about the battery life. This thing charges in around 2 hours and it lasts anywhere between 8 to 12 hours. This will depend what you're doing. If you're just watching videos, for the most time, you will get around 8-9 hours. But if you're doing just a little bit of browsing and stuff like that, you will get over 10 hours. So average about 10 hours. And it does come with the faster chargers. So charging it is a breeze. I mean, 2 hours to have 10-11 hours, it's not bad at all. Now for the price, this unit offers a lot of stuff, and everything it offers, it works really great. I've been using it for the last month and never honestly had any issues. It charges fine. The touchscreen works fine. I haven't had any issues with that. It never froze on me, never got too hot or anything like that. I did play the games. It does get warm, a little bit hotter, but nothing crazy. You can still hold it in your lap and just use it. For the price, if you can find this unit anywhere between, around $200, I think it's very good buy. If you can find it on sale, like for example, right now you can buy Chromebook Flex 3i, which is 11-inch, a little bit smaller. This one is 11.6. Everything else is the same. You can buy it for $140. I'm gonna post that link in the description. So thank you for watching. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. It would really help me out. I'll see you guys in the next video.